No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. And today I'm having a sit down with a guy who's been making a lot of noise online. And I understand you have a very insane story. Ac7ionMan in the building.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's been a long road to get here, and my road is a little different than other people's, or a lot different. And it's one that gets kind of like, doesn't get as much attention as my other, what my content is displayed as. Mm-hmm. It's kind of unfortunate. It's always been kind of unfortunate for me. So I'm happy that people are going to get to see like a different side of me that they don't normally see.
Right. I just have to ask before we get going, how would you describe your haircut?
Well, I call this kind of like...
it's like a white boy Edgar.
It's like a little bit of like, it's like a balding chic. Like my hairline's kind of like f***ed up. So like I'm just working with what I have.
Oh, really? So your hairline's f***ed up, so you just take it all and just sweep it forward? Oh, yeah. Kind of hides the widow's peak thing.
Yeah, I'm hiding it a little bit, but...
Once your hairline gets really up like myself, then you'll stop being able to do that.
Though.
Yeah, 3 hair transplants later.
I'm about to get my second one.
You already have one?
Yeah, I already have one.
Shut the
Yeah, I was in bad shape. Bad shape 3 years ago.
How old are you?
34.
34, and you already, what age were you when you got it?
Like 31.
Okay.
32, yeah. And the guy said, like, the doc was like, yeah, you're not balding enough to like get like the best results, but like, I was like, dude, I'm on camera every day. They're gonna rip me to shreds if I don't. So,
all I gotta say is you gotta go to Turkey for the next one.
You still think so?
Oh, it's so sick.
Really?
It's just cheap as hell, and then also like the number of plugs that they'll do at once is like way higher.
Bet.
So I personally was very happy with my experience.
Make a trip out of that.
If I had gone to Turkey, I would have been able to do it 2 times and not the 3 times that I'm on right now.
Right, and you get to travel and
yeah, it wasn't that fun.
Yeah,
walking around
looks like ass.
Well, that
I'm not the country. I mean,
but just having like a bloody head and like a headache and like your head is kind of sore really doesn't make you want
like a zombie and
But then I watched Mike Malak's vlog where he went there and did it, and he was kind of just like going around doing stuff, and I was like, oh, I guess I was probably just being lazy.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so where are you from originally?
I'm from originally Vernon Hills, Illinois, Libertyville, Illinois.
Okay. How far from Chicago is that?
It's like a 30-minute drive north suburbs. Not too far from like Ninja, the same town as David Dobrik grew up in.
Right, yeah, I remember hearing you say that. Okay, so what was life like growing up?
I mean, it was pretty badass, to be honest. I mean, my parents did get divorced, but we were like still living middle upper class. I mean, white picket fence. There was no excuse for like the decisions I made. The rest of my family all wound up being Johnny Pencil pushing desk jockeys. Like they all went to college route. They all went, the traditional route. You know what I mean? My dad's Jewish. My mom's Catholic. We were raised Catholic, but we also celebrated the Jewish holidays and stuff. So like, I kind of got like to see every like aspect, like 2 different sides of like cultures, I guess, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But,
okay. And so you were a good kid up until what age?
I mean, I was never a good kid. Okay. I was a problem child very early on, like 10, 11 years old, and drawing everywhere, getting in trouble constantly, behavioral. Even like before weed, I just the art of annoying people was like, I didn't understand like why I liked to do it. It didn't make any sense when I was younger.
Where do you think that came from?
I don't really know, because there's no delinquency in my family at all. There's no one that goes to jail or prison. There's no one that commits crimes. None of my family members do drugs or they barely drink. So I don't really know. I'm
kind of like that too. My parents are very straight laced, never got in trouble, no bullshit. And then I popped out and just was getting in trouble from super early, super young. Didn't want anything to do with school. Just overall, just like a attitude. And to a lot of people, it's like they assume there has to be like a root to it. I'm like, not really. I just came out the way I came out.
That's why people always ask. I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like maybe like people that have like more unique brains have a harder time like expressing it when they're younger.
And like now at this point in my life, I'll listen to a podcast with somebody who grew up in a good environment, went to school, went to college, got a great job, got a family, had kids, got married, and I'm like, what the f-? Like, it's like so baffling to me. How did you have this path displayed to you by your parents and then actually follow it?
I have no idea.
Very fascinating.
Everyone else around me did. I don't get it, but they did. It still mystifies me.
Much respect to them. But okay, so you were getting in a ton of trouble and stuff. Did you end up like, was it serious at any point,
nothing serious. The most I got, like me and my buddy Alex, we fucking drew this guy jacking off on not the SAT, the one in middle school, the ACT, whatever that one was. Okay. And like everyone got a copy of some guy like jacking off on a toilet, and we got kicked out of the last semester of middle school for that. But that was about the most like law. They called the police on us for that, but. That was about, there wasn't any like police stuff until my 17, 18, like the 18 years old, 19 years old when I started doing heroin.
And you were still in high school?
I was still in high school when I was doing heroin.
How'd you get introduced to drugs in the first place?
I I don't know, because it's weird because I didn't smoke weed till I was almost 17, and then by 19 I was a full-blown heroin addict. So like I just progressed really fast. I think I just, because I did every drug. Someone offered me weed, bought weed, smoked it, no problem. I still smoke weed to this day and drink. So I'm just saying, like, I just don't do heroin anymore. So like I don't know. I just figured I had done every drug up into heroin without getting addicted to it. So I figured I could try it once, and then my buddy, he said he was going to give me weed to drive me to some train station one day, and then he didn't have any, and I said, well, I'm not going to drive you if you don't give me something. So then he told me what he had, and it was heroin, and I snorted it, and it was crazy.
And so you had just drank and smoked weed up until this point?
Barely even drank. Okay. And I actually only started drinking regularly the last year or two. Throughout my addiction with heroin, I never drank.
Lack of information about drugs is like a huge problem, because I remember even like the time period that I spent doing a lot of Xanax, it was like I had no idea what the fuck I was getting into. I thought it was going to be like taking some Vicodin.
It was
or
like
whatever.
Don't ask, don't tell, like basically like, or just like it wasn't talked about because like it was like a stigma, especially if you grew up in a middle upper class family, that like, oh, that's their kids a fuck up, and like basically like it's like high school outside of high school with the like the neighborhood, like neighborhoods talk. So like you don't want to like have your family get labeled that there's a problem child in there. That's how it is in middle upper class households. Like for like there's pressure to get out of a bad neighborhood. In a good neighborhood, you're like expected to get out. So like if you don't and do really well, you're just a fuck up, and you're more ostracized actually for being a fuck up.
Right.
And that's hard to deal with, especially with my whole family I was good at school. It just didn't appeal to me. Like they were institutionalized, you know, at a young age, that they're going to go to college, and it just stuck to them. Like you said, it just didn't stick with us. And I just don't know I'd be a billionaire if I had the answer of like why I made the choices I made.
One thing I think about a lot now that I have a kid is like, as she gets older, how do I direct her energy into things, and like how do I kind of like fill her time with different activities and stuff like that? Do you feel like, because I know a lot of people who were like probably going to end up being criminals or probably going to end up going to jail or whatever, and then they just found one thing that they were into, and then they spent the next 20 years of their life doing that thing, and that's the thing that kept them out of trouble. For me, bike riding was that. If it wasn't for bike riding, BMX, like I probably would have been like super open-minded when
a catalyst.
Yeah, like if it wasn't for bike riding, I feel like if somebody had like kind of introduced me to like gangs or like robbing people or like really like trafficking drugs or whatever, I probably would have been like very open-minded about it. It wouldn't
have been a definite no, because like
I kind of always had this other thing that was like a positive conduit for my energy, you know. But you didn't really find anything like that when you were younger.
No, I mean, it's funny. I wanted to be a pro gamer in Halo, but when I'm 17, there was Halo 3, and it just what people I don't think they get. There was none of this. There wasn't a YouTuber, like there wasn't, like it was very grassroots. Like it was like the Ogre Twins in Halo, or like anyone involved in Halo or early Call of Duty Scump, and that was it. Only like a handful of people that did it. That's what I wanted to do. So like when I got off heroin, that was kind of like, that's what I targeted. I wanted to be a pro gamer, even though this was like at 27 this time, years later.
So you smoked heroin once, or did you smoke it or inject it?
I snorted it,
okay,
and then I started shooting it for 10 years.
Okay. Yeah. And how does your life change as you get habituated towards this?
Well, you know, I'm glad you asked it so I can explain it, because basically it's a very nefarious and insidious addiction in how it works. It's very subtle, because a lot of people think you do it once and you get addicted. Obviously, your brain recognizes the high. It understands the potency of it. It grasps it's feeling really good, but you aren't going through dope sickness the first time you do it. It's just this very nice break from reality. It's like you're floating on this cloud, and like you're like in a dream, but you're living life, and it's just everything's at peace, and you could be in a burning house and you just wouldn't care, and it just felt like a way out. I don't know what, because there wasn't really anything that I had. Everything anyone could want. I mean, there was no excuse for, you know, I can't pinpoint why I did it, because I had everything, and like so did my family. So it's like I don't know why I did it and they didn't.
But when you first did it, what was going on in your head in terms of like, oh, this is super dangerous, I don't want to get super into this, I should probably be really careful? Or did you not really have those like guardrails?
I just assumed, that's a great question. I just assumed that I was not going to get addicted, because like the thought of actually being a drug addict before addiction is just, your brain doesn't even regulate it. It doesn't even make any sense to it. So like that's kind of like also with that, like, yeah.
Right.
So I just didn't know. That wasn't there. I just assumed I wasn't going to get addicted. And then you did it one day, and then maybe you go a week without it. And then you do it 2 days in a row, 5 days without it. And then before you know it, you're doing it every day. And then one day you wake up and you don't have it. Months later, however long, now you're dope sick.
It's crazy, because that's how most people are when they're even getting into like simpler drugs like weed or alcohol or whatever, where it's like, you know, most people will smoke weed like once a week or like, you know, once every couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden you see yourself slowly coming more and more into focus with that shit, where it's like, oh, now I need to buy it. Now I don't have it, and I'm like,
now you're just irritated. Now
I lived with people who were constantly rolling blunts for like a couple of years before I had to actually start buying my own weed, because I realized like, oh, like I want this when they're not around, so now I have to buy my own weed and learn to roll blunts. And that was like a fucking weird realization, to be like, oh, I'm that kind of guy now, and I didn't even realize I was getting to that point.
Humans are creatures of habit, and you know, depending on the environment, the addiction can just go in so many weird crisscross. It can just be navigated by environment. It can be navigated by so many external circumstances. It's just like it's a very tricky thing. And, you know, especially when they push, you know, the AA, NA on people. I'm not a really big person of that, because, you know, part of my story is all my friends are dead. You know, Nate, my boy, you know, my community now, my people around me now, the limited people that are in my inner circle. But like the people, like, you know, like when I see people like, you know, with a following that, you know, they're taking pictures with their friends, their loved ones back in the days, like I just don't have that. They're literally all like 10, 15 of my friends are all dead. None of them are alive.
Really? There's nobody you talk to?
Okay, minus the guy I actually started using with. He's the only one alive. He got clean.
Wow.
Yeah. And everyone else died.
And you're how old?
34.
See, that's pretty young. You know, you've only been out of high school for 16 years.
Yeah. I've been clean 8 years, and when I got clean the 8 years, it killed everyone else. So I was in addiction for almost 10. I've been clean since March 3rd, 2017. No, 16. I didn't stream yet. So I got clean March 3rd, 2016. And just from that point to now, it killed off the rest. I'm saying, like, it's like if you do heroin or you mix pills with heroin or pills in general, like you're gonna die eventually. It's like a hard pill to swallow. Like I was smarter about it, and I do attribute me being extra careful for me being alive. But now there's fentanyl, so like I just know like your card eventually. Like I would have eventually the luck would have like completely ran out.
What does being careful with heroin mean? Like,
I mean, that's funny you asked
at that time, because now it's way different with the heroin, with the fentanyl.
Well, basically, what you would do is that you would put some of the powder into the cooker or whatever device you're using to cook it up, and you would just do a little bit of it. Now, this takes extreme control. My brain would always say, especially in addiction, like no drug addict is doing. It's kind of why I'm alive, to be honest. So I would extreme control. I would put 30, 40 units of water on a small amount to test it. My mentality is we can always do more. Because my first felony arrest was a kid overdosed in my fucking garage and almost died in front of me. And this is before they had the limited immunity law. He was overdosing in the garage floor, and I called 911, and they arrested me for his heroin and his pack of cigarettes on my garage floor. And that was December.
His pack 14th. Of cigarettes?
Yeah.
Wait, inside of it, you're saying?
In his pack of cigarettes on my garage floor. And I called 911. And this is before they changed the law 2 years later. This was December 4th, 2009. This is when my first felony arrest.
And they changed the law because it basically would make somebody like you.
They wouldn't want to call it 911 anymore.
Right.
And I mean, the kid wound up dying years later, too. So I was like, well, I don't say it was pointless, but like.
But what happened to those charges?
I got probation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I had a horrible legal run, dude. It was bad. I mean, I've been to prison twice. I've been to Cook County Jail in Chicago.
How was that?
Horrible.
Really?
That's the worst place. The Latin Kings try to steal my shoes right away. Like, dude, it's actually it's worse than people even think.
Really?
Chicago, yeah, I want to do IRL streams there. It's just so dangerous. I'm just like,
oh, Chicago, you want to do IRL streams?
Yeah, but like when I was in Cook County Jail, like they stole my shoes.
I thought you were saying you want to do IRL streams in jail. They're probably not going to let that happen. But okay, you get in there, and I mean, I hear about getting locked up in the county jail so much from perspective of like Chicago gang members and LA gang members talking about LA county jail and everything. But from your perspective as a non-gang member, I assume, what was it like actually in that environment?
It was very, very weird. And that's kind of where I learned to kind of like be a chameleon in my environment, because like I found that like when I made them laugh, they were kind of like, they liked to me more. Or they were like, I felt safer, or they were more apt to like talk to me on the deck. And like, it's not like, the thing is the guys in the gangs aren't supposed to with guys that are neutral.
Right.
So it's like, it's not always the gang members. It's just a lot of people, especially in Cook County, they're just doing a lot of time. They just made some bad choices. And while there is like, are on count, which means that they are gangbanging on the deck. It's a lot of just like free-for-all chaos from just a really corrupt, dangerously violent city.
And so the percentage of white people there?
Less than 1%.
Really? So they're looking at you like a real
dude,
freak.
I mean, dude, if you're white in there, they're looking at you like, what are you doing here?
Right. It's like so fascinating and baffling to them. Yeah.
Yeah, I was on deck with when I was in there, D Rose or round number 9. Like,
yeah,
Chief Keef. One of the two of the Chief Keef guys were in there on a murder charge and a gun charge on the deck.
And you were hanging out with them or what?
They were on the other pod, but whenever they go out, whenever they were normally in lockdown, but whenever they got the rec yard, the whole deck would start like fucking going crazy and shit.
Really?
Dude, there'd be fights every day. That was like I've been through so much. I don't even vent about it. Like I've seen like shootings and robberies and fucking horrible crimes and like I don't even know. I've been robbed at gunpoint. I've multiple times. I've had a fucked up life. I don't like to tell people about it.
Wait, but so okay, during that 10-year span that you were doing heroin, how much time did you actually spend locked up in jail?
I spent, let's go here, 6 months, no, 2 months, 6 months, 1 year, 4 months, 2 months.
Holy.
And that doesn't include rehab, which was like jail. Some of the rehabs in jail was Safe Haven off California, Roosevelt. That one was like fucking jail. House monitor ammo, committing crimes in there. Like,
what were the main things you were getting caught up for that were getting you these?
It was
sentences?
constantly possession of heroin.
Oh, really?
Like, dude, I'll never forget this.
You get pulled over in the car with it mostly?
If you're white in the West Side, you're getting stopped.
Really?
That's why I almost kind of want to go back there, not on shit, to record, to see, just to show people like what it's like. It's just you'll get stopped every second.
Really? Why? They just assume you're a junkie, or?
Yeah. And they pass laws in Chicago that are local, and they're so f***ed up. If they declare it a known gang area, they don't even need regular probable cause.
Really?
So they'll say, this is a known gang area. Put your hands in the car right now. That's it.
But yeah, I mean, they're looking to catch heroin users because they're looking at a white guy like you're not in a gang, right?
They were when I was doing it. This is also 8 years ago. Maybe now they don't. So I don't know, but I'm only going off like back in the day.
Because you hear about a lot of like progressive prosecutors and stuff, and you hear about places like Portland where like they decriminalize drugs and stuff.
Vancouver, where there's like a like an Amsterdam area.
But now some of those places are taking it back because they think that they went too far.
Yeah.
And they're like worried that society is too dangerous now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Skid Row, but like it's less control. Like Skid Row, they try to push all the traffic in one area, but with Chicago, it's the gang violence. There's just a lot of gun crimes, and it's just. I'm very lucky to be alive.
So once you get into doing heroin on a day-to-day basis, does this kind of like push you into hanging out with a lot of like really shady people?
It pushes you into the worst group of people ever. You'd almost rather deal with a meth head because like they're less able to be sociopathic because they're just meth heads are just strung out. Heroin addicts are like deceiving and cunning and like, dude, like I remember like being in addiction and like my mom confronted me about stealing her wedding ring and dude, I just stone cold lied to her. Like, dude, I got to the point where like police officers would put their hand on my heart when I just left a crack house to buy dope, and I could look at them right in the eyes, and my heart wouldn't stop. I could just sit there and just lie.
They're doing their own little lie detector test right there.
Yeah, or they'll feel their pulse. So they're doing a bunch of things. They'll like look at me. They're doing all this extra shit, and I got so used to getting stopped and frisked, and I became just you're a monster. I became a monster, dude. I don't even know how. I'm nothing like that person. You never would want me in your vicinity on that ever.
So you just started robbing like everybody you were friends with or your family?
All my friends. We started the Walgreens theft. That's what got me sent to prison the first time.
What were you doing at Walgreens?
We were stealing Axe shower gel because they started putting things behind the glass.
Right.
The razor blades, Rogaine, Crest white strips.
All the stuff that has high resale.
High resale. And then we started stealing Axe shower gel and like whatever else. And then when that stopped, then my friend broke into houses and my friend broke in the cars. It was not good.
Yeah, it's crazy because I know other dudes. I know this guy Ryan Mills who I interviewed who was a pro BMX rider, and he fucked his knee up, got a pain pill prescription. All of a sudden, like fast forward a year or two, he's like a full-blown heroin addict. The type of guy who I could never imagine being part of like a criminal syndicate or whatever. But then he became that for like a long time, where he was just like nonstop robbing people and fucking joining up with all these different guys to rob luxury stores in the mall and shit. And he's like the last person that I would ever be able to imagine doing this. But the heroin just like turned him into that.
Turns you into a complete monster. I mean, that's why like it sucks because like my message and who I want to be on the internet with me being a streamer and in the social media presence, a lot of people don't understand, especially because I do push out drug content on stream, not like crazy drug content, but it's like it does kind of contradict my message, and people just throw me aside as a junkie or a drug addict. They don't really understand the depths to me and like what I have to bring to the table. Like, what does it mean that I survived what I survived? So it's like it's hard to balance both, especially my community is very trolley based, so it's like it's hard to turn the button on and off. So it's like if I'm like got thousands of people watching me, and I'm trying to be serious for a minute or two. I just can't be, because that's just not what they're expecting.
And a lot of IRL streaming is kind of like that, where even the biggest dudes like a XQC or a Aiden Ross or a Speed, they kind of like are treating themselves like the butt of the joke from time to time. They're like, there's a lot of like trolling to kind of make yourself look like an idiot, just to make it funny. And there's a lot of like, you know, even Speed has all these viral clips of him like smashing shit and going crazy. And it's like the audience, like if you were to do a poll at any given time, even them being like the biggest streamers, if you were to do a poll like, should I jump out the window of my fucking bedroom right now? They would be like, yes. Right. Because they don't really actually give a fuck about the long term. They just want to see some extreme shit in the short term, you know?
That's just why it's hard to navigate it, because like I do want to like, to me, this is something I've really wanted to do, to have people understand, like I want to be like looked at as a guy that's relatable and helping to other people, but then it's like you see me blackout drunk, fucking trolling people in Overton, or like not troll, or like giving guys money for content, like just doing like unethical, like whatever things I'm trying to like do for a laugh or to make people laugh, and it just steps on this right here. So it's like I don't know how to like really do my job and make people take me seriously at the same time on this field, because I can turn the switch on and off. It's just that I guess maybe like depending on the age of the viewer or the audience that I'm targeting who's watching me, I don't think they really can, or maybe they just don't care. Some people just want to be entertained, and they're not here to like care about what I did and my addiction or what I've overcame, and that's just kind of maybe the way it is. You know what I mean?
Definitely. So, okay, what was rock bottom like? Like, how bad did you get before you started pulling it together?
The end of my addiction, because most people in Chicago cop heroin on the west side. At the end, I was on Inglewood and O Block in the south side, meeting this guy named Red by the Red Line.
So I can get heroin at O Block?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You can if you want to go in there, yeah.
Is that normal for people that are drug use? That's not the normal pickup spot. Okay.
Most people will go to the west side. You have to like know. You can go to the south side. It's just way more block oriented on the south side. Where the west side, it's like they expect to see white people there to buy drugs. Where the south side, it's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
O Block is like, do not come here.
Do not go. Yeah, I streamed there we filmed there for like 20 seconds. They put like a fake cop car in front of it, and then they'll have like guys that are like waving people down, and then they'll have like. They have dope spots. They have guys that run a fake dope spot and then a real one to throw the police off. Dude, it's this cat and mouse game. It doesn't even sound real. It doesn't even sound real.
A fake dope spot so that they can also be a real one.
Yes. So they'll have a real dope spot and a fake dope spot. And they'll basically to like increase their chances. So like if a runner gets the dope and he gets caught, they'll start blowing whistles or going, yo, 12, 12. And like everyone starts scattering everywhere. And like they have this system to like get away. And on the west side,
somehow I don't feel like Chicago is going to decriminalize drugs, and I don't think it would be a good thing.
I don't really know. See, Chicago's not really comparable to other cities
because Oregon is like a different
Oregon,
fabric to the people, right?
Like I went to the hood of Miami, and like it's just like, dude, it's not great, but it's not like I'm fucking scared for my life. Fucking, I'm feeling inherently in danger. Like Chicago, you're just like, what the fuck is that? Like,
there's already so many gangs, so many drugs, so many people that already are inclined to kill each other.
It's so crime infested. They're looking for a reason to like fucking kill you, basically.
What
like
the fuck?
It's like an altered life. And like the thing is over there, if they do some crazy shit that makes sense in the hood culture, they get brownie points. They get rewarded. And like, dude, it's fucked up.
What's the closest you ever came to like really getting your shit pushed back in these situations?
I got so many stories. This one time we tried to give funny money, which is fake money, to a drug dealer. Fucking, I didn't want to do it. It was up the corner of Drake and Iowa on the west side. And fucking, he gave him the 20. We start the car. They go, it's funny. And then we're driving as fast as we can. The speed bumps in Chicago are huge. We hit a speed bump. We fly in the air, and as we're like, the car's like 2 feet in the air. The car gets shot like 3 or 4 times, and then one of the bullets fucking was in the back. It went like through the windshield, and it was like an inch or two left. Because I don't drive. So my buddy was driving, and it was an inch or two left in my ear. So like the bullet missed me by like a couple inches. So like if the glass got shot through right here, like the glass bullet was right here, and I'm just sitting right here. So it was like a couple inches, and that was just one of them. Dude, there's been times where police have raided the houses, and fucking I was crawled up, and there was drugs in the house, and we were in this fucking, it was like a drug raid on like a crack house, and me and this dude were curled up in this cabinet, and there was like dirty needles pointing at us, like, and we couldn't move. The police were raiding us downstairs. I'm crunched up. There's like dust. It's hard to breathe, and there's like all these dirty needles just pointing at us, and we can't move or talk. And we sat there for like 30 minutes.
And the cops didn't find you?
No, they didn't even go upstairs. They just wanted to get the addicts down. They just wanted to get like their little like, because like it works on reports. So if they get a lot of arrests, they don't care about, they're not seeing what kind of felony arrest. They're seeing a felony arrest. Even in Chicago, a lot of people don't know. If you have less than 1 gram, it gets thrown out no probable cause due to weight. People don't even know this. So if you get under 1 gram of heroin, you'll get to the Harrison and Kedzie police station, and then it gets thrown out if it's under 1 gram.
And is 1 gram a lot, I guess?
Of heroin? For an everyday IV drug addict, it's a decent amount, but it's nothing crazy for an everyday IV drug addict.
Average person in Skid Row has less than 1 gram on them, basically?
Yeah, I would say average person for sure does.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's just funny. That one case I had, the one case that sent me to prison, I got paroled May 21st. No, May 7th I got paroled. May 21st I got arrested, going to visit my brother at Eastern Illinois University. The cops pull up. It was like the worst timing ever. It was like a scene out of a movie. They literally pull up, guns out, move, move, move. I shoved the dope up my ass. The cop goes, "Hey, white boy, if I don't find those, I got 3 for you right here." I go, "Did you just fucking threaten to plant drugs on me, sir?" And then he goes, "Yep, I did." So then he handcuffs me and he goes, "Shake his pants, shake his pants." And like, dude, like out of a fucking movie, dude, 1 bag of dope, like a fucking like snowflake in slow motion, just boom, it hits the ground.
The one that didn't make it up your ass.
It didn't make it, dude. It didn't make it. And remember, I just did a year. I just did a year straight in prison.
Right.
A straight year. I'm like, dude, I'm going back. And I did wind up going back for this charge. And then they fucking literally grabbed the dope out of my ass and fucking put it there and said, "You're going."
Did they find the rest of it in your ass too?
They found the rest of it.
What do? They go in your ass, or they just tell you to shit it out?
Literally go in my ass. And
on the street or at the police station?
No, right there on the street.
They put a glove on and they pull.
Literally right then and there. Chicago was ridiculous. And the thing is, if it was under 1 gram, I remember I said it would have got thrown out. It weighed 1.1. So if I would have bought 1 less bag, the case gets thrown out. But of course, my luck, it was over 1 gram and it stuck. And I wound up going to prison. And their first offer was 6 years on that case under extended term. Because that was my 4th felony.
Would you be getting clean while you were locked up?
In Cook County Jail, there was heroin. I didn't do any there, but I did smoke weed in there, and there is drugs in Cook County Jail.
It was expensive.
But in Lake County Jail, North Suburb, the suburban one, and then prison, there's not. Or if there is, you'd have to be like super, super plugged. Like no direct CO or something like that.
So when you get locked up, are you pretty much just like getting off of it intensely for a week or two?
Bad. It's actually not as bad as people would think, because like I think it's kind of crazy how the human psyche works. If your brain knows it can't get the drugs, for some reason the withdrawal is not nearly as bad. What I discovered. But like when you're in the street and you're going through it, it's way worse.
You're also in like full blown survival mode.
Yeah, and you're also
there, right?
like around people like, dude, like my first cellie in NRC Stateville was F-Wing 207 was Jerry Day. He fucking had 78 years. Still on that bitch.
Really?
Yeah, for murder.
Holy shit.
And I lied about my charges and shit. He like, because I was kind of a jailhouse lawyer. Like I know law because like, I don't know. I played chess and I read law books when I was in there. And fucking I like read his case and dude, it was like, he was so guilty. And I was like, yeah, you going to the crib, bro. You going home, man.
What would you say about your charges?
Oh, I would say that I fucking was selling heroin. I would try to like make it look like I was a little more intense of a badass. You know? Or like one guy I told that I did like a bunch of robberies and like a murder just because he was like, really intimidating, and I knew I was only going to be in the cell with him for a couple of days, and he was in there for killing a police officer. I don't know how he shot and killed a Joliet police officer years ago. I don't know how the fuck they classify it, but yeah, I was in a cell with him, so I was like, yeah, I'm in here for murder. 3 counts of armed robbery. What's up?
Okay, wait. So when you get to your worst spot, when you finally like hit rock bottom, we were starting to get into it, but what was that like?
You know, it's crazy. Like rock bottom to me was almost like the freedom point. It's
Can you just get a little bit closer to the mic?
Oh yeah, my bad. The rock bottom to me was like almost like borderline the freedom act of it, because like I feel like this is how I beat it. It's almost like I just feel like I had beaten the game almost. As weird as that sounds mentally, like there wasn't anything else left for me to gain. I had been to prison. I had been homeless. I had done every drug. I had done every drug in every kind of way. I had been through every experience. It was like my brain was like, bro, this shit. I was just tired. I was physically did not want to do heroin anymore. If you put a kilo of heroin in front of me right now, I wouldn't have any desire to do it because I'm just done with that. That arc is over. I'm done with that arc. I'm done with that chapter.
But so, what was that moment? Was there a moment where you had like just found yourself?
I remember the last time I did heroin, and I remember. Actually, yeah. I mean, the thing is, I don't know if it was a specific, like, well, there's moments that I can remember when I was really work orientated, but like, I think it was a combination. And then one day I was just like, I was in a library and I texted my brother. I was like, on Facebook, and I don't know what drove me, but like, I had just gotten out of the Cook County jail. I just beat a case on pure luck. We can talk about the details of that one later if you want, but I just beat a case. I got out. I had $100 in commissary. I bought the last $100 of heroin, and I said, this is gonna be the last $100 of heroin I ever do. And fucking, I texted my brother, who contacted my mom, and then my mom fucking came and got me, dude. And then I had the $100 up to heroin left, and then I did all the heroin, and I saved one bag left for the next day, and that was gonna be like my grand finale, dude. And that's how I did it, bro. I fucking had like a grand finale. I fucking kissed the syringe, which sounds weird, but I'm just saying, like, I kissed the needle. I fucking did it. I walked downstairs and I said goodbye, and I threw it out, and that was it, dude. And that was the last time I ever did heroin. And that was March 3rd, 2016.
What did you do with yourself at that point to try to, like, you know, work through the physical sickness and to try to, like, get yourself into the right mindset? Did you have to go to rehab and shit?
Actually, yes. I went to outpatient rehab. I agree, because I said I didn't want to do inpatient anymore because I wanted to pursue going pro in Halo. So I went to inpatient rehab, and now... or outpatient rehab.
So basically, you go there.
I go there for a couple
day.
hours, and then I go home or whatever.
They just keep an eye on you and stuff. Yeah.
Well, I want them to keep an eye. It's just like, it's more lenient. It serves its purpose, but it's just funny how, like, my mom, my family, in the courts, so much court ordered rehab, so much, you know, force trying to get clean, and it wasn't until I was just done in a room with me and like one or two other guys that weren't paying attention, and I just watched this Eric Thomas video. He's like a motivational speaker. His name is Eric Thomas. And it's like, I just can't explain it, but like the way he was just explaining like what it takes to be successful, and like the grinding, the work hard, the work ethic. And I said, I'm gonna fucking work harder than anyone to get to the top. And I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna put all the effort, all the time. Any CEO said I shouldn't be there, correctional officer, anytime a judge or a lawyer, anyone, rehab counselor, anyone that someone told me like I was underachieving or why am I here, I was like, I'm gonna put all the energy that I put into this. At the time I was pro gaming, I thought, because this is, when I started streaming, it was February 17.
So you started streaming before you got clean, or?
No, I was clean when I got streamed.
Okay.
But I'm saying, I streamed for months and months without, no, I gamed for months and months without streaming. In my mom's walk-in closet. And like, she had like a lock on the outside of the door, and she wouldn't let me leave after 10 p.m.
Really?
Even though I knew I was gonna be fine. She said that. I said, Mom, what if I gotta piss? She said, don't drink water after a certain time. Wow. So I had to fucking pee in a cup. Yeah. And I would say it's Red Bull. So my mom would like wake up, I'd be fucking gaming all night, and there'd be like cups of piss just standing right there, just sitting right there on the table. And the thing is, I wasn't even streaming. I just saw this in my head that I could do this. Like, I wanted this. I was gonna do this. It just like, I can't explain the like why I was trying so hard, but I was like, dude, I was so tired of being a loser and getting tired of like just getting shit talked and tired of just being in the worst position possible. So I was just like, I just took it really personally to get it right this time.
Yeah, I have met a lot of people over the years who, when they talk about when they finally decided to get clean, it was just this moment where they like, because I can't really like relate directly in terms of the whole like drug thing, but you know, in terms of like even just like food or whatever, it's weird how you will try to like get on a good diet over and over and over, and then finally one day you'll just do it, and it'll just last like a year or 6 months or however long you like want to go with it. But it's like, it's so hard to actually like trick your brain into just deciding to be restrictive when you spend so much of your life trying to make yourself feel good, you know?
I wonder what causes the trigger, like, to where like I just was done, and like I just remember just feeling like being homeless off Chicago Avenue, literally like with the needle in my arm, like with the other rest of the homeless guys, and just thinking like, bro, I think I'm gonna die out here on this shit. Like and so it's like, I don't know how I went from this crazy obsession that I can't escape or make sense of to like, it's just over. And like, I just don't even want to do it. I don't know. It's like, I just feel like maybe it's an act of God or an act of the universe, or I don't know the tangibility of being able to articulate of where it's stemming from, really. But
so when you, like if someone like if you could go back in time and you wanted to get clean during year 1 or year 2, what would have, like, is there anything in your head that would have been able to actually be effective in getting you clean? Or do you think that you actually had to go through these 10 years in order for your brain to be able to decide to get off it? Because, you know, you always, like, I've had so many friends over the years who are alcoholics or drug addicts, and you just kind of like wonder, like, are they going to stop at some point? Should I be the one who's trying to like nudge them in the direction of stopping? Should I try to like pay for rehab? Should I do whatever? And it's kind of like, you know, I always just assume they're not gonna like none of that shit's gonna help unless they're ready to do it. Right. But also, it kind of makes you feel like shit for not trying. You know,
definitely, because with addiction it's really hard because the addict is just gonna be so annoying. They're so deceptive and just irritating to be around. So it's like so it's like. That question is really tough. I would say that it's, addiction's very different for everyone. I don't think there's one cookie cutter. So I would say it definitely depends on the person. But I would say the experience that an addict goes through definitely shapes and molds the rest of his life, especially if he's going to beat addiction. Because to me, I believe beating addiction is when you unleash your true self. To me, it's like even if you're drinking or you're smoking weed regularly, if your life is in control and you are grinding to your goal and things are working, you are getting results, then to me you've beaten your addiction. Now, I mean, that doesn't mean that you can definitely be addicted and still successful, but I'm saying like it's about what is your quality of life. Are you obsessing over like only the addict knows, but usually they're too sick to really diagnose themselves or like find a way out. And like me having the mom and dad that I have definitely was a factor. I was gonna be here today no matter what. I believe that, but like they did expedite things, giving me, my dad loaned me the Xbox and my mom gave me the little walk-in closet. So these are things that some people don't even have.
Yeah, how was that for your parents throughout the years? Did they just stop talking to you at a certain point, or were they always trying to help?
They were always trying to help. That's, I mean, it's a pretty, I always, I call my mom, my dad on stream a lot, fucking, I let them know.
I heard your dad yelling at you in one clip.
Yeah.
You need to get your life together.
Yeah. He does. He's still, he's like super right-wing, fucking accountant, CPA, like, fucking, he's stuck in his way. He doesn't like what I do at all. He just says that if I didn't have the success behind where I'm at today, he doesn't support it, and neither does my mom really. Because I mean, dude, I get fucked up. I get drunk on stream. I get high on stream. I brought joints here if you want. I mean, like, I
want to see you smoke those things with the shit all on the outside.
I got you. Yeah, I do the absolute fucking most on stream, dude. So
but are you doing it for stream?
Yes, I absolutely. Okay. Like, dude, I don't take fucking Adderall, which I'm prescribed to, or drink, or weed. I'm saying when I'm off, it's just so funny. People offer me a drink when I'm not streaming, and I'll turn it down, and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "This is my off day." When I'm not live, that's my off time from drinking and alcohol. It just makes the job easier, especially if streaming is a lot of politics. So like you have to pick who you're gonna hang out with, or like you get limited on who you can hang out with depending on who you are and what you do. And there's a lot of politics that you can't really explain. You'll just see the closer you get to the top, how things kind of work.
You mean like kind of clicking up with certain streamers?
There's hierarchies basically where like, if I hang out with this streamer, then I can't hang out with this one.
Just like gangbanging.
In a way where I didn't really know that because I just wanted to be friends with everyone because I'm just trying to like view, like there was a little naivety or being naive, I may have mispronounced that word, when I first started.
I hate trying to say that word because I read it all the time, but I don't really, I feel like I never say it wrong.
Yeah. So like there was me like really kind of maybe being a little green and where like I didn't understand kind of like what is going on. I just thought like we were all everyone's gonna get along like once you get to the top, or near the top, whatever. That's just not how it is.
Because it's weird because once you really get deep into the streaming thing, it's kind of like there's only certain molds, certain boxes that you can be in.
Exactly.
And if you want to be an Aiden Ross style streamer, you're sort of like putting yourself into that box and you're not going to be able to like really like that is like a certain segment of fans. I don't know.
No, 100%.
That's how you see it?
You said it correct. It's demographic targeting. What audience is going to work with what content? How is this audience going to perceive the content you're putting out?
Right.
I realized early on the biggest factor in demographic targeting is it's not race, it's actually age. So people a following is normally generated around like how similar is this person to them. So someone that's 18, 19, or 15 to 19 or 20 or whatever, they maybe don't see me in them. Even if they inherently like my content or they perceive me as funny or funnier, they still will go to support someone else that they relate to more.
You look at a Ac7ionMan and it's like all these 15, 16-year-old kids look at him, and even though he is older, they very much see themselves in him enough. Like he's able to pass as young.
Exactly.
But when Ac7ionMan is 35, it's going to be a different fucking story. And I sometimes have to think about that on here because there's people who will want to be on No Jumper as hosts and stuff.
Right.
And sometimes when they're like a lot older, they'll be really good conversationalists, but also like in my head, it's kind of like, is a balance that I'm hitting here, because I know that our audience tends to skew younger. YouTube in general tends to skew younger.
Right.
So if I start a podcast with like a 50-year-old dude, and I say this knowing obviously I do a podcast with Whack 100 who's 46 or 47 or whatever, but it's like there's kind of like a ceiling at a certain point with older content creators, which is weird.
You're not going, because I'm saying like there's only so much that you're going to be able to do. Like the mannerisms, the jokes I say, a lot of the things they're puns, or they're like older references, or they're like longer jokes that are more complex. They're just, and I don't mean to not target this audience, but I'm just not targeting them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like the older they get, the more maybe they'll see in me, or, you know, content that changes, or just, streaming ebbs and flows as well. So it's like,
and bro, I'm 40. So it's like,
good for your age,
if I'm streaming, thank you, multiple hair transplants. But if I'm streaming, one thing that I might do if I was streaming on Twitch for 8 hours is I might put on a bunch of old metal records and shit that I fuck with, or like random like indie bands and shit like that. Massively alienating to the audience that I've actually captivated on here. You know, so like shit like that. It's just, but then when you're Kai Cenat, it's like his shit that he's into is like rap and shit, like pretty much the exact thing that his audience is
like
into.
A younger demographic is on their phone more. There's just some realities that it comes to, like, when you target certain audience, you get certain benefits in certain, ways. But like the politics of like getting with certain streamers or being around certain streamers, it's really tough. And I didn't really know that like if I do content with certain people, that's gonna stop me from doing content with other people. I just thought like whoever puts out the best product will get invited or will be seen and, get what he has, quote, coming. But that's just definitely not how it is.
But okay, I see. Who are you kind of alluding to? Because
I'm not alluding to anyone in particular.
I see you with a lot of the IRL streamers and stuff,
Yeah, no, and that's kind of the thing. I'm just like, it's just like maybe like the relationship I would want with some other people, like just gets like, it's just like maybe like we just grew apart over time, or it's just, I don't know. I don't know like what happened. Like, because I used to be great friends with some people, years ago or a couple years ago, a year or two ago, and I'm just not now, and vice versa with some other people. And it's just like, you're not dealt certain cards of streaming. You're putting out your own atmosphere and your own energy. So it's like, you just have to accept that whatever you get from that is what you're going to get.
But being a streamer is weird because on one hand, you need other people in order to make content,
Absolutely.
Unless you are the absolute pinnacle of personality stream wise, you're just going to have to find people to bring in, whether it's once, whether it's multiple times. And you see this with like every content creator, from a David Dobrik having the vlog squad to whatever. And then at a certain point, it's like, if that person wants to be a streamer, that person also is potentially going to, go for your audience at a certain point. And I mean, I've seen that on this podcast where we build up different hosts, and then at some point they leave and they kind of just take a chunk of the audience with them. And that's
that's a really good point. That's just kind of the thing. It's like the nature of the beast. I don't know how to like, I just wish I could go back in time and maybe just like reevaluate, like, if I do this with this person. I just thought like it's just like the best guy, because you brought up like the solo entertainer. That's kind of was my thing. I kind of basically didn't collab for 3.5 years of my streaming career because I didn't know. I just felt like you just said, like they're gonna quote steal viewers or whatever the fuck. But little did I know, because remember I got on this almost 30, pushing 30, so I was very naive and dense. But that's the exact opposite. You have to collab. You have to bring in other people, and you just put your content next to theirs, and you just have to fucking make them click on your shit and keep them into you and keep them captivated and make them come back.
Right. Definitely.
It's definitely way easier said than done. I mean,
so okay, but when you started actually really streaming, what was that like? How many hours per week?
Dude, I mean, you brought up XQC. I would use him as the benchmark of,
doing
hours
what,
streamed,
10 hours a day.
My
type
goal
shit?
At some point, and I didn't even know it, but I was out streaming him a lot to 60 viewers on Halo 5 before I even started. But I'm saying, like, when he blew up, I was like, all right, this guy's number one, so obviously he's doing something right. So let me see, like, and then I found out the uptime. Obviously it's more than just uptime, especially, the more streaming you develop, it's definitely not about just uptime anymore.
But as a normal human being, when you talk to somebody who streams and you start to realize how much they consider it important to not only be doing this like nearly every day, but also in many cases like 8-10 hours, I realized that from listening to my girl talk about streaming with Amaranth and her just being like, baffled by the amount of hours that you wanted to put into it, you know? But ultimately that shit really decides who because as soon as you're not on, then everybody starts looking at the lineup and seeing who else is.
It definitely favors uptime. I feel it definitely favored more uptime earlier on. The TikTok, the YouTube shorts, that definitely, now it's about go live for 4 to 6. I believe the formula now is go live 4 to 6 hours, have some shit lined up, banger content. That's the formula, but I'm saying you already have to have a fucking big ass following to do that. So it's like you can't tell that to someone new. Like I could probably do it, but I stream, like I enjoy doing it. I like there's something about, like I'm addicted to it in a way. So it's like when I don't stream, I start getting fucking like I'm fucking my life up kind of thing.
That's one thing I've realized from doing streams with Aiden Ross and Neon and shit is that they both have like guys in the background who are planning out hella shit and putting so many things together, and they've got like multiple guests on deck and shit, and it's like the level of professionalism at a certain point in terms of putting together storylines. Like Aiden Ross doesn't just go viral multiple times per week by accident.
No,
you know?
no,
they're cooking up plot lines.
Like, and he's got like the Clippers. They're really good with him, and the other big streamers. They do a really good job. Your team is really important.
Right.
You know what I mean,
what's like the science of that, of having like people clipping all your shit to make you blow up?
The science is basically the algorithm. Also remember here, I just started really learning. This was it took me a while to kind of understand that. That's why I'm kind of now just getting the attention, because I didn't know that was a thing. So I just streamed to fucking 100 viewers every day for 3 years. I just didn't fucking know. I would say, could you repeat the question again?
Just in terms of the clipping and having like people, because I've heard different people, like Andrew Tate comes to mind, of like he early on made it like a contest for his fans to try to create as many TikToks and pieces of short form content, and like you still see that where there's like tons of accounts. Like okay, one time I saw Sneeko at a party, and immediately I just start seeing in my mentions on Twitter like, holy fuck, like he's got 10 dudes who are watching his stream right now and clipping everything that happens, and they're tagging me in it, and like I mean, that's just like, that kind of says a lot about where the game is at in terms of attention.
Another thing is that I also just switched to this content, that those streamers you listed, I'm in their realm now, really. Where before I was coming from Halo and Fortnite.
And do you not stream video games at all now?
Not anymore. Okay. I will here and there. But I'm saying, dude, like I went viral on TikTok for these like clips where I was arguing with this kid named Kevin.
Saw that. Yeah.
So like that fucking like. The universe works in mysterious ways, but honestly, the short form content is how you blow up now. Unless you're just a beast at long form. Like, I think Gideon had a great long form run. Like anyone that's doing long form and getting a lot of views they got it figured out.
It's wild when you think about it too, because I feel like until like just having a random clip go viral, especially if it's a clip that like doesn't make you look that great, or it's just kind of like some messy shit that happens in public. The clip has to be like really fucking good to make people want to go to Twitch and figure out your fucking username and search it.
Exactly.
And like that just feels like that's kind of like a high bar to hit that I'm sure works out great when you're already huge.
Right.
But I don't know. It's just
No, you're right. And like the thing is, like, you basically like, that's why you kind of just like shoot until you hit, basically. Like you gotta you have to keep uploading, the consistency. Like that's why like if you are doing certain content, there's no point of having a clipper because it's not going to get the watch time. So I would say going viral once, it wasn't good enough. I went viral because the clips that me and Kevin, I didn't know at the time, but they were doing the Andrew Tate method. I didn't know it. Everybody was taking them and posting them on all these accounts. Like, dude, my 2 accounts have like 3 million followers combined. If I would have got tagged in all of them, we'd be at like 10 million. I mean, they went crazy for like a year and a half, 2 years straight. Like crazy.
Right. And I've had people pitch me on it like, yo, I got like in terms of the clipping thing, they're like, I got a factory in China. We got special shit so that, the phones won't get tagged for like all this shit that they do so that they can basically, create clips at an astounding rate for you and post it on shitloads of TikTok accounts and shit. And like then it's just a numbers game, because at a certain point with TikTok, some shit will just hit. That's kind of crazy.
And a lot of the too is like timing as well. So it's like certain things will work at certain times, just not other times. So it's like that's another thing with social media, and particularly streaming, is you grind long enough and you either get on a trend or you wait for your moment to like initiate something, ingenious or something like that. And it's like that's kind of where I'm at. I don't know if I'm at the crossroad. I'm definitely not done growing, you know what I mean? But it's like I'm trying to like it's just like I had to switch audiences. So like I lost some of my audience over to, switching to Kick. I mean, my audience is it was the best decision I ever made was switching to Kick. My audience is way
Why do you
bigger.
say that?
Well, because basically Twitch is fucking, I'm just going to straight up say it. If you aren't like gay or like, I don't want to say transgender or look a certain way, they literally, I mean, I do is on stream. I say pull up Twitch's Twitter. Let's see if there's one person that, I don't want to say like looks normal or looks a certain way, but it's like if you look it up, they're just clearly showing favoritism to a certain group of people.
You have to either be gay or look gay.
Yes, or like there's something outstandingly bizarre, ubiquitously bizarre about you.
Twitch has kind of made like a conscious decision to sort of steer away from a lot of what is popular on Kick, which is you got somebody like Aiden Ross, Neon, etc. These are all like sort of like shock streamers. They all like are just doing crazy stuff, and Twitch has like really kind of gone out of their way to like cut the balls off any crazy shit that you might want to do. Right?
I mean, this is when I knew I was gonna have to leave Twitch. I got a week ban because like one of my things on Fortnite was like I would fucking like have these dummies and I'd beat up the dummy and I'd like jack them off and do gay shit with the dummy, and they gave me a fucking week ban for an air blow job.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't surprise me, but damn.
Yeah, they really, you can't do any content on there and just Kick like allowed, like if you look at all the, like a lot of the viral clips, they're from Kick. If you look at a lot of the clips, they're from the Kick streamers because Kick allows you to make content. You know what I mean? Like people can say like, it might not be their cup of tea, obviously there's some pieces of content that you might not like, but like it allows creators to create. I just remember dealing with the TOS, watching other big streamers deal with the TOS, and it was fucked up, man.
Really?
Spent a lot, dude. Yeah, I streamed 15,000 hours on Twitch. I feel like a failure on Twitch. I feel like I absolutely failed. I don't think my concurrent viewership was good at all.
Really?
I think 1,500 to 2,000 viewers is what I ended up with on Twitch was shit for how much effort I put in for 15,000 hours. I think that sucks.
Really?
Yeah, I'm very hard on myself. Extremely hard. I think it's fucking terrible. I think I'm a failure on Twitch. I think I failed.
It's crazy, though, because I feel like you see why Twitch ended up with so many rules because there are so many people trying to push those rules with like every different chick trying to find like a different way to like present herself as basically naked without
clam cams. You see that shit?
What's the clam cam?
Dude, it's a camera of their vagina.
It's like the camera angle is like super low, so it's like
yes, and they want their ass too while they're playing Valorant. It makes no human sense.
Of course, wow.
It's like funny. The one girl I was like asking to be on my stream too. I was like, okay, like it's just like, bro, like it's like I get it, and I love OnlyFans girls. I fucking bring them on stream all the time and shit, and deal with them all the time. But it's like, bro, that shit is kind of like eyesore-ish to like only do that shit as your content, like.
But do you feel like?
But I mean, I use them, so it's like.
But do you feel like girls who are really like? Do you think Twitch is right to sort of like make some of that stuff harder to pull off on their platform?
I don't see. The thing is, if they're going to allow that, then I should be able to air jack off a dummy. That was just kind of my issue. It was just like it was too picky and choosy. You know what I mean? Like, and like I just feel like certain sites also like play into it. They select certain creators from OTK or like Safe Bets or like. Whatever is like going to it, like it's like they created their own little subculture. I just assumed in business the best product wins, capitalism, America, whatever. But in streaming, that's just completely not it. Obviously, there's a lot of subjectiveness, but it's like there's so many other things at play that you don't know that are in play until you've been doing it for a while. Like I'm saying, like so, and also I consider myself a live streamer. I'll tell people I'm a YouTuber, so like that don't know me, so they could identify what I do, but like the live streamer and the YouTuber are very, very different. Mr. Beast has stated, and so is Logan, one of the Paul brothers, that they don't like live streaming, and live streaming is not for them, and it's hard, and it just makes them nervous, or like it's just not for. So like it's a totally different beast to like do it live versus not live.
And I understand the impulse of why people want to go live, but I personally, it's partially because I'm old, but I really value the YouTubers who I like see them make a really dope, polished 10, 15, 20-minute video.
Long form content.
But it seems like a shitload of people leave that behind at some point because there's so much work. Like I think about the Nelk Boys, they basically blew up for like 5 to 10 years or 5, 6, 7 years, however long they were grinding. They're making these like amazing 10, 20-minute videos. And then at a certain point, what do? They basically turn to like doing podcasts and IRL streams and stuff because it's it's easy to make a solid hour or two piece of content if you're doing a podcast. And if you're going to like really edit it, that can be a lot harder. I have so many friends that are into like content creation and want to be big, but they do these like long live streams and they don't put any sort of thought into like how to clip it, how to make it appeal to a larger audience or whatever, which to me, that seems so obvious. Like you have to do that. Otherwise you're just streaming for nothing, right?
You're literally treading water in the Atlantic Ocean is what I would say. Like if you people only understood, it's a total waste of time.
Did you end up feeling though that like doing video game streaming was really depressing as you kept going? Because it's really hard to grow in that space.
Now
because,
it's like impossible.
Because who the fuck is gonna, like, how is that gonna go viral? Whereas you have a crazy encounter while you're out IRL streaming, that'll go viral. That's a potential billboard for your stream, right?
Correct.
But you're almost never gonna get that playing video games.
That's why I got lucky with the Kevin clips, because I was my thing. What I did, I didn't play the game Fortnite. Halo I played to be good at. Fortnite I just went into duos and squads and trolled the shit out of my teammates. My goal was to make them feel uncomfortable, impress them, and annoy them. So that's how I brought the human interaction into Fortnite, and that's why the clip, like you said, that like it's like now it's going pro in a game. Fortnite, the game Fortnite blew up a lot of streamers. That's what made the just chatting streamers so unique. Because like, Aiden, Kai, fucking, XQC, when they fucking first started popping off, it was like, they're going to fucking stream, reacting to YouTube videos, or they're going to bring a bunch of people on their stream, and this is going to be the content. It's no longer about a game. Where before it's like you had to stream a game, and it just basically, they changed the game. They showed that like, you don't have to sit here and play a fucking game, which is when that opened my eyes. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? Because like I said, I outstreamed XQC almost every fucking month back in the day, because I just thought that was going to equate, you know what I'm saying, like whatever. But little did I know it was the just chatting, the just chatting streamer approach that they like pioneered, that like I just got late to, and like I just was dense and naive to it.
Sometimes I think, why am I doing all these interviews when I could sit on Twitch for 8 hours and watch a bunch of other people's podcasts and yell and react? And like, just because that shit seems like it's so fucking popular, I spend a shitload of time watching other people's interviews and other like clips and stuff. And I'm kind of like, why don't I just go full XQC with it? And instead of like watching that in my private life, get on stream, and that's content that I'm making. But then I'm like, are you serious? Do you really need to spend more time staring into a camera? Like maybe I don't need to do that.
Like every person's also got their own like strengths and weaknesses. And that's another part of the streaming YouTubing sphere, is that, what works for one person just might not work for another person. If like you might have two people, identical twins, same exact skills, same exact content. They start the same everything. One fails, one goes to the top or succeeds, and one doesn't, or vice versa. And like that's just streaming.
Yeah, like a lot of times I have people tell me that they want to be a streamer or a podcaster, and I'm just looking at them just thinking, no.
You don't even know.
It's not gonna, like, the amount of star power, the amount of personality, the amount of like endurance that you have to have is so immense.
Aura in the room has to be just,
and there's so few opportunities.
It's so few. And then, we touched on it earlier, when you get near the top, you want to collaborate with other, bigger creators, but there's a 10, 15 person list basically. You're not going to some place where there's fucking 80 fucking streamers pulling 5,000, 4,000 plus viewers. They're just not there. It's a small, it's like I would say it's even like more niche than being a pro athlete. There's 55 people per team. I don't know 55 English streamers that average over 5,000, 10,000 viewers.
Right.
I'd have to like pull a stat sheet or something like that.
How do you feel about people faking their live viewers?
I mean, it's been a problem on streaming for years. It's been a problem on Twitch. It's a problem anywhere with streaming. And I don't know like what the solution is, or it's not even just fucking streaming. It's fucking YouTube. It's Twitter. I had a guy fucking with my Twitter account trying to get me shadow banned. He did get me shadow banned.
By buying you followers?
By fucking impression botting the post.
Really?
So yeah, every one of my posts got put to 1 million.
And that fucked your account up?
Fucked my account up.
Holy shit, I never really heard about that. That's crazy.
So like also like people will like do certain things, and they follow about in my Instagram account. Those followers got taken off. That got my account shut off for a day, and I fucking like, dude, yeah.
Wow.
So like there's like my thoughts on like people use it to get ahead or get even or get whatever, and then there's people that use it to fucking fuck other people over and fucking discredit them, and it's like what is it, like taking steroids maybe in baseball or something like that.
But is it inexpensive enough that it's like reasonable for people to do it as a troll? Because I've never done it.
I would depend on the platform and what is. I don't know. I would assume depending on how much is being troll their bottom.
There's definitely people I look at where I just look at their numbers and I'm like, I don't know, like this just does not sound right to me. But then there's other people where, like, okay, I remember hearing Destiny tell the story one time about back in the day streaming on Twitch, and it was like one day the bots just stopped working. And so all these people that are normally streaming to like 10, 20,000 people have like 1,000 people watching them.
Yeah.
And they all just get off in the middle of the time that they're supposed to be streaming because they realize like I'm being exposed in real time.
You know, it's funny you said that
sounds crazy.
On Twitch, they had this thing called embedded viewers, which is like, I think maybe they just started restricting it, but basically what they would do, it was legal view botting. And this also got me off Twitch because all the girls were doing it. A lot of the guys, Fortnite was a disaster. A lot of people may not know how fucked up Twitch was. They would link, this was allowed, and you can like fact check me on this. They would link their stream to another website, and that site would get clicks, and that would bring viewers to their site. So the viewers were technically real, but they weren't visiting from the Twitch site. Sometimes they weren't even visiting the site at all. If they had it coded a certain way where they would just click on another site, and that would be a view to Twitch, even not watching the stream. And
I could make nojumper.com and make the header just be an embedded feed to my Twitch stream.
If that's what they use, maybe they change. I haven't been on Twitch in over a year.
Right.
But I'm saying if I was talking a year ago, it's they fucking did it all the time.
Because I think in the CX days that was normal. They would have like the CX website from Ice Poseidon's era would have like a list of all the people who are kind of part of
like good friends and shit.
Right, because I was like considered enough of part of the CX world that they did link to No Jumper. So if we were live, there'd be like a button so you could watch it. But I'm pretty sure it would be right there on the homepage.
Yeah. Some people like would just go around it to where like if they were watching it from another site, and then it's like they weren't even watching it. They would just get the click, and that would count as a view, and they coded it that way or some shit. And that was that shit was like made streaming impossible on Twitch in general. Like,
so did you go fully clean for a while, or were you always drinking and smoking as part of your content?
I actually was fully clean for about 8 months to a year. Yeah, about that.
And was it scary starting to dip your toe back in?
No, because I was trying to go pro in Halo. Like, dude, I was so naive. I thought what my boy T-Burner told me, like, fucking, like, I said, how do I go pro? He goes, you have to stream. I literally thought if I streamed on Twitch, a recruiter from like a gaming org was gonna come in the stream and see my gameplay, and I was gonna get signed to a contract. That's how naive I was. I just didn't know.
And does that just never happen?
No.
Oh, okay.
Still, yeah, it does never happen.
If I want to get sponsored or like become like a big deal in Fortnite, and I'm just really,
you're saying if you have no following.
No, but I'm saying like if I'm a random kid and I'm just like really, really, really good, how do you get discovered?
You'd fucking post your clip. Well, now the game's out 7-8 years, so now it's like everyone's kind of locked in. But you would post your clips and you'd perform well in cash cups. You perform well in the smaller tournaments and go to the bigger ones.
Okay.
But like that game's skill gap is off the charts.
It's just ridiculous at this point.
Yeah, the Fortnite community, those kids, I say kids, but they were kids at the time, like Clicks, Mr. Savage, all them dudes they always showed me mad love. I always viewed it like I was kind of like their psycho older brother or something. I was way older than them, but they always showed me love. The Fortnite community was lit. They showed me mad love.
You feel like you never had the skill to actually be like a real pro or something?
No, fuck no. On no builds, I was raw with the controller. No builds, I was really good towards the end. But I mean, I wasn't building like clicks, or I was nowhere near that.
Building is like basically what sets people apart on that shit.
Yeah.
Like if you're amazing at it, then you can just destroy people.
You'd have to be more than amazing at this point. You'd have to be like a top worldly talent.
Wow. That's crazy.
So yeah, I always tell people to stay away from games, but it's a good way to get your foot in the door and kind of test yourself out, see if you're really about this shit, if you can really handle this shit. But there's also less growth opportunity, and it limits your content. So it's like it's a double-edged sword.
People always tell me that they want to get into streaming to stream video games, and then they start doing that, and then very quickly they like end up pivoting into just like talking about news or drama or bullshit or whatever, because the audience doesn't really want to see you play video games unless you're amazing at video games.
Or there's some amazing content like.
Yeah, because like some video games are more like creative, like Minecraft and shit like that, I guess. But like most video games really, they want to see someone who's really good at the game. And once you start streaming a game, you'll really realize that you're not as good as you think you are at a game.
Not at all.
Once you die 10 times trying to, like I try to stream like Zelda. And I've been playing Zelda my whole life.
Or Ocarina of Time?
This was Ocarina of Time,
First
I think.
one. Okay.
Yes, and I started streaming it, and I'm just used to playing it by myself. So if I die 10 times trying to fucking beat this one dude, like, who gives a fuck? Right. And then you start doing it on stream, and all of a sudden everybody's making fun of how you play, and you're like, oh, like.
Dude, I always say, if you want to shit talk my mom, my dad, anyone in my family, I don't give a fuck. You insult my gameplay, fucking all bets are off. Those comments got under my skin the worst.
Really?
My biggest meltdowns on stream was when I was getting stream sniped, and they would be like, you're not getting stream sniped. Out of everything that I've been through in my life, that generated more anger than me being in prison.
Oh, wow.
I'm not even kidding. The stream sniping ruins video games.
Okay.
That's also when you get to like 1,000 viewers, 2,000.
People start joining your lobbies and then targeting you.
Dude, it ruins everything. It literally ended my Fortnite streams.
Really?
It ended it.
That's what killed it.
That's what killed it. And I was only pulling, at my peak, I was still pulling 3K, 3,500 on a game on Twitch and Fortnite. That's good as fuck. Like, so like, obviously I'm doing something right. Like, I'm not trying to like 2-3K viewers on Twitch is fucking good on a game. Like, I'm not like trying to like shit on myself, but it's not fucking, would I pull at A or, even 6 months ago on Kick or whatever. So it's like, it's fucking, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just, there's so much going on in my life and this shit. And it's like, I just wish I could have gotten to this point faster. I wish I could have fucking learned quicker, learned the ins and outs of streaming and streamer politics and all this shit earlier. It just wasn't in the cards. And I had a very long, super tedious route, 400 plus hours a month stream, multiple times.
Because you look at your life and you're like, well, why the fuck did I spend 10 years doing drugs? And then why did it take me years to figure out that maybe, like maybe the video game thing wasn't it? But like, you end up feeling like that. I feel like that. Like, why did I just do BMX shit for 10 years? Why did it take me so long to figure out that I could do other stuff?
It was your passion.
Yeah, but like, when you look at your life retrospectively, you just see every single move that you could have made that would have, like, even just choosing BMX instead of skateboarding.
Right.
I love bike riding, but if I had chose skateboarding,
it
would have been
it was more popular.
A way bigger opportunity in the long run, which is,
And you were right, like, age-wise, you were right with Tony Hawk and shit.
Yeah, and when I kind of like made the decision between BMX and skateboarding, I feel like they were much closer in size.
Dave Mirra was kind of like.
Whereas now, skateboarding is fucking gigantic, and BMX huge. Sometimes it feels like it doesn't even exist. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, it's a weird one. But okay, do you feel like you have a toxic fan base?
Absolutely. We haven't even tapped into that. What goes on in that? I mean, dude. We could talk so long about
because you say you're friends with Ice Poseidon. He's somebody who I feel like dealt with that more than almost anybody.
Yeah, my chat is way worse than his.
Really?
I mean, I say that with this is not like a good competition, dude. I can't if we stream live. Let's just say me and you want to go get dinner.
Right.
I'll say we'll be in the restaurant 9 to 10 minutes, and I'm saying they're so good we could fucking sit in a private room and fucking have nothing showing, and then there will be like a super internet gremlin that'll fucking see the booth that we're in. I had someone fucking find the sushi restaurant I was in off of the chopstick wrapper that didn't show the restaurant.
Holy shit.
Dude, I've been swatted over 50 plus times. Easily. Most this last 6 months.
Does part of you kind of love it?
No. Honestly, like at first, no. Okay, let me say this. At first, I thought I was like, all right, let's go. Motherfuckers want to fuck with us. I know, the Spider-Man shit, great power, great responsibility. This is what comes with it. But then it just started happening everywhere.
It just becomes too much really quickly.
Way too much.
Because, all right, like.
Then my family started getting swatted and shit.
I know. Oh, that's fucked. Yeah. I mean, I know some IRL streamers, and I saw them like try to go to a restaurant, and like I seen the clip in the Reddit of like basically like them just calling the restaurant and like just making, that's like the easiest one in the world.
Rapist murderers in your restaurant right now. Good luck.
I'm not gonna lie.
Your clothes too.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm watching the clips on Reddit, just thinking like, this is funny as fuck.
No, and the thing is, like, that's what I say. It's such an awful double-edged sword because the last thing you want to do, it's a fucking dangerous situation.
Yeah.
I didn't even talk about my arrest. I just got arrested from this shit.
Oh yeah, what happened?
I'll tell you in a second. And then fucking, it just creates this crazy circumstance because like the cops are there to do their job, right? Objectively, they're there to do their job. But I mean, on paper, you guys know my address, unless it's the first time, which even then I went to the Kendall fucking Miami-Dade police. I said, dude, here's who I am. Not that I'm fucking Drake, but like you guys are going to get a lot of calls here. Please handle this with care. I know Florida's way more to the right than other cities and states. So it's like, it's going to be a little different, but it's like, bro, like, I don't want that. And they're like, all right, well, just they don't because like the odds of being a full-time streamer that pulls my viewer count and is going to actually get harassed is just statistically very low. The odds of someone you're going to do like that is just low. So I'm sure they brushed it off, and then came the SWAT, and then they started kicking in my door. And then fucking one day there was this the case that I just beat. My boy had a gun, and let's say it was a toy gun for whatever. Let's just say, even though it's over, it was a toy gun, and fucking he was showing it because some guy hopped my fence, and this was a legal gun. This was a legal fake gun, and fucking he was showing it to say like, bro, stop, because we're getting fucked with. We're getting harassed. I'm having people hop my fence, fucking trolling and like dressing up as outfits. This is like crazy. I get fucking harassed. So he was showing that, and then they fucking kick in my house 3 weeks later off of a picture, and fucking find nothing. I wound up beating the whole case. There was a girl that had cocaine and some pills in the house that fucking I got fucking charged with that. I wound up beating the whole case, and I fucking got every charge fucking dropped. They fucking, I mean, I haven't even tweeted the swatting yet because it's fucking.
Is it bad? Like
it's
the video
honestly,
clip's crazy?
it looks retarded, and it's like I almost don't even like. I've tweeted out a lot of my swattings, and I probably will tweet out this one just because like whatever at this point. But fucking like, dude, it's just like, dude, they broke in my door. They fucking like throw smoke or like a flashbang, kick in the door, like you're seeing little beams of light. They're screaming. I had a girl at my house the one time it was happening. She fucking probably is traumatized forever and shit like that.
Jesus.
Dude, yeah. And fucking, you can see her on, she's on camera fucking like scared. My family gets harassed everywhere I go out. I'm saying, even, dude, if I'm live, dude, I'll stand outside a restaurant. Dude, like my community, I don't know if it's one guy. I don't know if it's one guy or multiple guys or a Discord. But like, it just gets off the charts. So we're like, I kind of feed into it and I say, all right, guys, let's do an over-under here. Do I last more than 15 minutes in this restaurant or in this certain place? And that is kind of antagonizing them to do it more. But it's like, it's just like, I'm so used to dealing with it. I don't even know how to like live. To where like when the next house that I'm gonna buy, I have to ask for special clearance for 12-foot fences because I get pizzas sent to my house. They'll fucking throw bottles of liquor. Like some of them are good gestures, some of them aren't. Like some will throw like bags of shit, or like someone threw a dead deer, like some dead roadkill in my backyard. Dude,
what the fuck,
bro? I get fucking, dude. It's ridiculous.
These are like very strange things compared to what could happen.
Dude,
like,
I mean, I've been held, like, I've argued with cops, like, I've been, like, just gunpoint, like, put your hands up, like, dude, I'm just like, bro, like, I'm trying to explain, like, we're while being humble, like, y'all are fucking this shit up, and I'm just supposed to, like, be this nice guy when they're like, because my life is at risk, dude. People die in swattings all the time.
Yeah.
You can see me, like, getting triggered thinking about it, because, like, I want Miami-Dade to apologize, because, like, that shit was not okay.
Right.
And it's not okay, because, like, they still come to my house, like, I just got swatted, well, like, I had this literal crackhead on stream, but like they'll take any opportunity. He was like sitting down like this, like kind of just drunk, just chilling. They said, "Oh, wellness check." So they'll use anything.
Wait, the cops showed up. Somebody called it in.
So it won't be an authentic swatting call. So that way they can legally. You see, so it's like,
that's fucking crazy.
It's crazy, and that's why, like, because I was supposed to move to Texas to be by ICE, but I was like, bro, you don't get it, bro. Just by the weed, they're being illegal here. Now they can just say. So even if I don't have the weed on me, now everywhere I go, I have weed. So now they could say this is a CI source, or the law could say whatever. So now it's like I'll have anything that could go wrong. I could just be getting harassed basically legally 24/7.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's like this whole realm of problems. And this is the thing. I wasn't getting harassed like this 6-7 months ago. So I didn't know because didn't have as many viewers.
What happened to make this start?
I just didn't have as many viewers.
Oh, okay.
Even though I was getting swatted here and there. I got swatted probably like 3 or 4 times while on Fortnite. Now if I do an IRL stream, I don't even know what's a SWAT and what's not anymore.
Right.
Because there's so many, every time a cop walks up to me, it's a different reason why they're there. A wellness check. Am I feeling suicidal? Fucking is some family member of mine was trying to say that I'm not okay. Like they're getting crafty with it, like to irritate me. I'm like, fucking motherfuckers.
I mean, I feel like Ice is someone who kind of took like a year or so off from streaming, and then when he came back, it felt like his community got a lot healthier. Is that accurate from your perspective?
It's definitely way, because I mean, I only can go off his old community, off the old VODs and shit. The one that he has now is definitely way nicer.
Okay.
Like when I'm with him, it's like I think his chat's pretty like chill. I mean, I don't know about chill. There's definitely trolls in there. And there's a lot but let me make this clear. There's a lot of great people in my chat. It doesn't take that many bad apples where there's thousands of people watching you.
It could just be one guy.
Literally. Yeah. I don't think it is because they're too good. But I'm saying
too much.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just fucking, and you don't know you're signing up for it. Like you don't, like, I knew I was gonna quote make it, but like you're not, internalizing and rationalizing, yeah, you're going to get harassed every day forever, and so is your family.
So, okay, probably nothing you can do about that besides hoping that the people stop. Yeah. Just by you basically seeming like a really nice guy, I guess, or them getting sick of it or something, right? But then, okay, what about like all the? I just want to like cover some of the most viral moments that you've had, because I saw one where you're like basically chatting up a chick walking down the street on like some sort of busy block, and then somebody just punches you in the face.
Oh, dude,
you can't really see it that good. But
yeah, dude, I was fucking flirting with this girl, dude. That stream was fucking, dude, people say that's like arguably one of the best IRL streams ever.
So what were you doing before the assault?
Dude, I was flirting with this married guy's wife.
Okay.
And look, when she told me she was married, I was like, all right, well, I assume this content's going to be dead now. So I went to leave. I stand up. I'm like, you're married. We're drunk. And I stand up and she grabs my leg and fucking sits me down. And fucking, I was like, okay, so be it then. So then I fucking continued to flirt with her, and then like,
and does she see the cameraman?
No,
because that one, the cameraman's kind of like far away,
he's
right?
Far back,
okay,
yeah, right there. And he fucking, and he fucking, basically, this is the chat being what they do. She had her first and last name. They fucking do background research, find the husband's Instagram, start blowing up the husband's Instagram that I'm with her wife or with his wife. And fucking, dude, he just cold clocks me. If I wasn't so drunk and so fucked up on Adderall, I would have got knocked out. I don't know how I took that punch.
Wow, yeah.
I took that like a beast.
Right.
Like, where the fuck did he go? And then he ran away, and then we're filming the cop trying to pull him down. And then we get to the police. Dude, there was like, I wish this moment was captured. There was like 38,000 viewers. And the lady fucking opens the stream and sees how many people watch. She's like, Sarge, what the fuck going on? This is in New Orleans and shit. And they start getting all these fucking calls, and then fucking outside he films another cop pushing him, and then my buddy pushes the cop, and he gets taken into custody on camera. Dude, all this is happening. Yeah, that was that stream.
For you, when you're on stream and you get punched in the face, does your mind go, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of this dude, I'm gonna chase him down? Or is it more just like, you're the streamer, you're not supposed to be like... I
just was so bamboozled in disarray. I was like, he started pointing at me, and then I started running towards him.
Yeah.
He starts running towards me, and then he backs up. And then fucking like, then the cops just happened to be right there. And then the cops like let him go. But dude, I mean, he didn't know he was fucking with, like, my chat does love me though, because they did... They took. I mean, I got they got him fired from the job. I got him the arrest. They got him totally fired.
Wait, really?
Dude, yeah. He had like a car dealership.
Oh my God.
And he has a warrant out for his arrest still.
What?
Yeah, he has not been. He's literally an active warrant, and they got him fired from the job.
Holy shit.
My chat does not play.
Do you feel kind of bad about something like that? Making somebody lose their job?
That guy, dude. I mean, I'm not gonna say like when I'm flirting with a married guy's wife. Obviously, I'm taking a risky move here. But the context was your wife made me stay. If I would have sat down and he would have known that, I mean, maybe he still would have been mad, but I bet you he would have been less mad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Holy shit.
Fuck
That's
that
a crazy
guy.
one.
And there's this hilarious moment on stream where you can just see me pointing to the picture on camera. It just looks ridiculous. It was just like...
Holy fuck.
Dude, yeah, when I'm live, dude, I'm pushing it, dude. I'm balls to the wall. I'm really, like, that's why, like, I try to balance it with desktop, because to me, to be a successful streamer, I don't think you can just do IRL or just do desktop. I think you have to master both.
Right.
So it's like you have to be very good. You know, how I kind of got more popular on Kick was I was doing like Monkey App, which is like Omegle. And that's kind of like what I put my own take on that. And that's kind of what like introduced me to just people only interactions. And that kind of
how did it become the Monkey App? Like,
I don't know why it's called that, but that shit really helped my channel a lot. I grew a lot on that from Monkey App, and I did that for like 4 or 5 months. I did it for like 3 months intensely in Chicago.
Did Omegle just give up or something?
Yeah, they literally gave up.
Because it used to be chat roulette.
Yeah, there was too many DDoSers and dicks.
Yeah.
DDs.
That's what it used to be all the time on chat roulette. You just see dudes jerking off.
Just dicks everywhere.
Left and right. Yeah, it was weird. That's like the biggest problem if you're one of them. Okay. There was another clip that stood out to me where I saw Zerka basically like booting you around. And, what was happening in that clip?
That era was honestly, dude, that was a lot of great content there.
That was like
back on it.
So you were just like hanging out with the Island Boys and Jack Doherty and just sort of.
Dude, see, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I love the Island Boys.
Okay,
you don't hear a lot of people say that.
They're cool as fucking person, dude. Like, whenever I look at, I'm saying I like hanging out with them a lot. So, and people might even hate me for that. When I'm looking at them, I'm not thinking about anything they've done or are going to do. I just know that they make a nice conversation. They're fun to be around. They're like, I don't know. But like,
I guess you're right. I'm trying to picture if I went to a party and the Island Boys were there and they were just sort of around me for a couple hours. I mean, I do kind of feel like they would do some weird shit at some point that would piss me off. But besides that, like, they're all right.
Right. No, I'm saying
they're not like offensive to be around.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like the whole Jack Doherty era was like a lot of people didn't like that, or not a lot, but some people didn't like it because they said like it's like a Jersey Shore kind of vibe thing. But like, dude, that was a lot of content, and like, you know, Kick was, you know, it's still new, and it was even newer, you know, 4 or 5 months ago when we were doing that shit. And like to me, like that shit like really helped the website. And with me and John, like there's something really special about when me and John are together. Obviously, some of his content, you know, I told him that I think is, you know, it's just too much for mainstream or, you know, whatever. I think
talking about young girls.
The guy's he's fucking hilarious though.
But like, why? That's just the most bizarre fight for him to have chosen.
He's funny as hell though.
Maybe he doesn't do it anymore, but he was tweeting some wild shit for a while.
He toned it down, but for me, like I told you, like streaming is almost like method acting in a way. Not acting, because you're being yourself, you're real, you're being yourself, but like he was just really, he like was able, like I could go to the bathroom and like he could carry the on-stream conversation for 5 minutes when I'm gone. So like it's like he's a rare breed in a sense where like you said, a solo IRL guy that can carry the camera, carry the load.
Because we've done a lot of like IRL streams at the store and at events and stuff like that. And we'll like take like a random employee who is cool on the podcast and is able to like, you know, maintain a conversation on the podcast. And then you put them into this IRL streamer box.
And they fail.
And it's very challenging because you have to be able to read the chat, but you also have to maintain the conversation. And if you do too much reading the chat, those motherfuckers are gone. Yep. They're not watching your shit. And if it's like, I don't know, it's like, it's hard. It's hard to keep finding things to talk about. You can't talk 100% of the time, but you need to talk a lot.
And you have to be entertaining. So like you have to make your words count the most while you're saying them. And it's like remember, you only get, so like when I'm collabing with Jack Doherty, Mike, John, a bunch of other streamers that were coming over there, you only, if that camera goes on you, people, and this is what newer streamers and other streamers don't understand that are, you know, trying to improve their craft. Dude, that is it. This is your 8 Mile moment. Everything you've ever built for, like if you ever, like the first time I went to Jack Doherty's house, I basically like had to like convince people to let me there because I was content. I was thirsty for a shot. Within 10 seconds, we're wrestling in a bed. I fucking accidentally hit his girlfriend's ankle and they're talking about kicking me out. The point I was trying to make is that like you just have to who is this guy? Like you have to bring this oh shit X Factor. I don't know about shock value, but you're just bringing something exponential to the table that's not being filled by somebody else.
Because if you, like you kind of, when you're in an environment like that, where you're in some fucking mansion with all these other streamers and everything, it's like you in that environment have to kind of choose to almost be like playing a character at a certain point. Because Zerka kicking you in the ass, it's not like a guy just walks up to you on the street and kicks you in the ass. Right. It's like you're on camera, you have to play along. Right. You gotta like, you might be the kind of person where if somebody kicked you in the ass in real life, you'd be personally. Yeah, or you just be like, bro, fuck you. Like, what are you doing? You kind of gotta like do something.
Lean into it. You gotta like,
you gotta do something. You gotta do something for the content. And so many people that I'm around, especially, are just cool, chill, laid back motherfuckers. They've been conditioned in their life, especially with like street dudes and shit, to be Mr. Chill, laid back weed smoker guy, and you don't want to be the loud one or whatever. But when,
you do though.
But when it comes to streaming, you got to be the loud one. You got to be the character.
And that's why I love dealing with other people, you know, that are, you know, really successful in this industry, because you just articulated that to where you can't not be in this field and articulate that. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Like once the people that will make it in IRL streaming will know that. Like when that camera's on them, and like you can see some people when their ambition exceeds their talent, where like they know that, but they just don't have the skill set. To make it happen.
But IRL streaming is one of the most demanding things. Like in comparison, you know what we see a lot of people being successful at who are not really like the best characters or personalities is like making a really, really good 15-minute YouTube documentary about somebody. Right. That shit, you see people popping off all the time with that and building really good businesses on YouTube. And this is not a shot at any of my YouTube essay, friends out there or whatever. But those same people, if they were trying to do an IRL stream, I mean, that's a completely different skill set. I could put together 15-minute documentaries all day. I could probably sit down and write one of those every fucking day. I don't think it's like the best use of my time, but like at the same time, running an IRL stream, that's fucking difficult in comparison.
You know what's crazy about it is that you just start one-upping. You have to keep one-upping yourself. So it's like the diminishing returns Half-Life effect, where it's like for instance, those New Orleans streams were so good. The next day, like after New Orleans, is like, what do I go live and do? Well, this is why you have to master the desktop. Now you react, you play a game. You just gotta find a way. Discord content. There's a lot of things that like I can give you the blueprint, but the streamer that'll make it will just do it. And I've noticed some streamers or some, social media personalities are very strong IRL streamers or certain kind of streaming, but then weak in another kind of streaming and where it holds them back. Or they're really strong on YouTube and other socials, but then they're not good live. So it's just like Madden character of like, what is your skill for what is going on? And like, there's only certain amounts of them and you got to like build a relationship with them to be in their presence to prove that you can hang with the big dogs and you want to pull their audience and you have to be entertaining. And then there's hot ass girls that are out of your fucking league and fucking, you got to make them laugh and try to flirt with them. And there's fucking the chat, they might have TTS and there's so much going on. And it's like, it's very hard to like have someone like, and I get messages, how do I blow up? Invite me, let's blow up. And I'm like, This is the long form conversation of this to them.
And then meanwhile, yes, there's like a half-life to your content because some of the clips will continue to get views over time, but a lot of it is just so in the moment that it's kind of like you just constantly have to be on this treadmill of just creating content, and it's so overwhelming and so difficult to deal with that it's just it chews up a lot of people and spits them out.
You look at the best streamers like Aiden or something, or whoever's popping at the top, they're constantly mixing up. They're doing it's like, or if it's a pre-existing concept, their take on it is what's making it more desirable. So it's like you constantly like you're looking for like a way in while like it's authentic and it feels good to watch and it's fun to watch and it's like it's just I'm just wondering, I'm not saying that content creation in general is at a standstill, but it's like if you look at like what some of the guys are doing, it's like motherfuckers are doing the absolute fucking most nowadays. I mean, even I find myself like fucking like I threw a homeless party. I fucking went to the Overton neighborhood and got 10 crackheads to fucking come to my house and party. Like I'm saying, like I don't know what the fuck I'm like.
No, I mean I thought about that when Steve Will Do It
I love Steve.
Right, but he started IRL streaming for a while. I don't know if he's still doing it, but he invited me one day on Melrose to pull up to this event that they did where they bought a ton of gifts. It might have been like $10,000 worth of, maybe more, maybe $20,000 worth of like video game systems and TVs and computers and all this shit. And the whole theme of it was black people get free gifts and white people have to pay full price. Now, it just so happens that I pulled up with like 5 black dudes. So it was like kind of like a ideal scenario. I was just like, bro, Brick Baby, take something. Like, this is sick.
This is your moment.
But think about the standard for IRL streaming when you have somebody as famous as Steve and he's doing a stream where he's giving away like $20,000 worth of shit. I mean, now we're talking about like how the fuck is a normal person going to compete with that unless they just have a crazy magnetic personality.
That's also the great question because a lot of people like I'll always state like when you're starting, when you're I don't want to say leeching from a community, but when you're integrating with a community, you're gonna want to try and stream around them so you can have their viewers when they're not live. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to be live when every big streamer is live, and your product is they're gonna have to say I pick you over them basically in a way.
But when something happens that's super viral, like you getting punched in the face, how much does that affect your viewership in the afterwards?
Well, it's just the thing is, like I said, it just depends on the content because if I go viral for whatever I'm doing IRL and then they pull up and I'm fucking maybe high 7th hour in watching a video, tired, gonna get off soon, they're gonna click off and maybe I just blew a first impression. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like you want to try to like have it be as close to the clip as what they're going to get when they click on your stream. But A, that's not realistic. B, you can't do IRLs every day. That's not sustainable, especially if you want them to be good. Or like maybe maybe it is, but I'm saying if you want them to be good, I would say doing them every day is probably not possible.
Why do you stop uploading to YouTube?
Great question. The whole YouTube thing, and we're going to get more into that. I'm talking to a couple different editors. Is because the whole blow up for me was an accident. I only started posting it, dude. All my viralness at first was completely accidental. I just noticed they were getting views on other people's channels, so then I just uploaded 3 videos. If you look at the Demon Child series, the one that broke like 1 or 2 million each, there's a fucking rage bar in the middle because some guy watermarked my video. He made the video and fucking posted on his YouTube video. And watermarked it, so I had to cover it up, and then I re-uploaded it, and then he took his down. Right. But they did mad views. That's when I knew I had a gold mine. Right. This fucking Kevin kid, who's now a drug addict. Really? Yeah, dude. I fucking met him on stream like a few months ago, dude.
And he was young as fuck, right?
He's like 15 or 16, and his mom told me he's in drugs and it's not good.
What?
Dude, yeah, it sucks.
That sucks.
Yeah. I try, man. I mean, dude, I gave him and his family like 20 grand.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you really get $50,000 worth of donations from Corinna Kampf? That's what it says in these notes. I don't know if I believe this. That sounds insane.
There was a month where she did, yeah. Corinna was really generous. I miss hanging out with her a lot. She was really cool and humble and like
hanging out.
On stream. No, on stream.
You were hooking up with her?
No, I never hooked up with her. Okay. I didn't have the courage. I always say like there was like maybe one point in time where like I felt maybe
she was open-minded. Maybe you had worn her down a little bit.
Maybe, but I was like, bro, A, I didn't have like as big as a following as I do now, and B, I still don't know if I would because she's like got such a statusy like symbol around her.
Yeah.
And she helped me get into the FaZe party at TwitchCon 2 years ago, right behind FaZe Banks and shit.
She's too rich. That's like overwhelming. She's so rich and she's so like intimidating. But she's really humble. She's very intimidating. Yeah. Extremely intimidating, especially in person. I don't think I've ever been around her.
She's really she's really hot, like intimidating in person.
Really?
She's really humble and cool though. She doesn't have like any of that like shitty aura. She's a really nice person. She's really nice.
The world is weird now because there's just all these random hot chicks that make like 6 figures a month off OnlyFans.
Dude, I was
like
just talking about that.
They would have been like strippers in like a prior era, you know?
And now they're making fucking $250,000 a month. Dude, honestly, I even thought about it. That OnlyFans money is so crazy, dude. I even thought about sucking on a fucking dildo for $1 million a month.
$1 million a month is a lot.
Or whatever the fuck it would be. Like, dude, it'd be embarrassing. My dad would disown me. I'd never go to a Jewish cemetery or wherever the fuck he wants me to go. But
I know like dudes who like started OnlyFans and then like very quickly realized that they can make a lot of money if they start doing some sort of gay shit.
Exact, dude. That's what they keep telling me.
And most of them like don't, but like some of them do.
Dude, yeah.
Some of them are just going.
I'll never do anything with another guy. That's literally gay. But like, dude, I'll fucking like I guess maybe, dude, like, but the thought of it's so gay. Like, I'm gonna suck on a black dildo.
Oh no!
Like for $1 million a month. I'm saying honestly, for $1 million a month, I would. Would you not do that? Like,
$1 million a month, and I gotta just suck on a black dildo here and there. I mean, shit. Yeah, now we're talking, man.
That's what I'm saying. But like, if it was
judge me if you want, guys. I'm sucking a dildo.
If it was like less than like $100K a month, I could never do it. It's not worth the reputational damage. Like, dude, imagine trying to beef with someone on Twitter. And you fucking...
It would just be so weird saying no to that just because...
Suck on this.
Yeah, just because it's so dumb. It's so, like, not gay at all to just put a piece of rubber in your mouth. But, like, you still would probably want to turn it down just because, like, it would just be so...
So gay.
Yeah.
It's just so much to handle. But, like, I'll start laughing about it, but then it's like, I see what some of these dudes make, and it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's the Judaism in me or something. It's just a lot of... It's a lot of money, bro, but it's like, bro, I don't want to actually be perceived as like...
Well, okay, think about it this way. If you were to turn down $100 grand a month, let's like scale it back a little bit. Yeah. If you were to turn down $100 grand a month, how many starving African children with malaria do you think that you could save? Like, I'm pretty sure that like you could save like dozens and dozens of, maybe hundreds of lives with that money.
Right.
So you
sucking black cocks for kids in Africa.
Basically, but like think about it, like you're basically like sentencing those fucking kids to death by not just doing that and then donating the money.
So basically I'm starving, I'm ruining kids' lives in Africa.
This is genocide.
Yeah, maybe
if you don't suck that dildo.
Now I have no choice. I don't want to look like a pussy.
You know? Or just like Hitler, you know? It's like Hitler would probably be down to just let those kids die, but
yeah, he probably would.
We're better than that. We're gonna suck that dildo.
Yeah, I'm broadening my dynamic with that.
Oh boy,
Hitler had a lot of aura too. He was just a fucked up guy.
Like, aura. You see that clip of him on Speed?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I was talking about it. I think that's why Germany was so fucking. That's why they fought so hard. I think they were all on meth.
Yeah. Well, he was. Like,
I think he gave it to their soldiers. How the fuck did that one country take over Europe? One country took over Europe.
Yeah. I watched like a whole series about it recently.
Mind blowing.
It's just like what are you talking about? You're conquering Africa and Russia at the same time, and the rest of Europe, and you're like. Any normal country would have done these things one by one, not like all at the same time. Like, what the fuck were you?
I mean, he lost the war because he fucking invaded Russia, but he was gonna invade America and lose that way anyways. So
yeah, dude, man, we would have. Imagine we were imagine we were just living under the Reich right now,
dude. That could be fucking intense.
That would suck. Like, probably a lot of things wouldn't have happened. Like, they probably wouldn't have let skateboarding happen.
No.
There's no way.
Skateboarding's like illegal in a lot of places, and you can't fucking skateboard.
The Nazis, they're gonna fucking shoot you. They're gonna pull up to Hollywood High every day and kill every single kid trying to get a clip.
I beat the Nazis.
Yeah, thank God we're not under the Reich.
Dude, that would suck.
Yeah, because besides the racism, they were just buzzkills in general. You know,
no fun zone.
Yeah, like a total no fun zone.
Yeah,
like a no fun zone we can't even imagine.
Right.
All right.
I know it's fun.
So where are you at right now? What are you working on? What's going on?
All right. Right now, basically growing the brand. We're gonna go back on TikTok. Oh, TikTok might get shut down, but we're definitely gonna start doing short form content more consistently. I need to be more consistent on Instagram.
You need a YouTube editor.
Yeah, I need a YouTube editor.
Volunteer in the comments.
Whoever, anyone. Yeah, need a YouTube editor. Gonna focus on short form. We're gonna try long form, but I'm gonna collab with who I can, anyone that can. I'm gonna continue to push the envelope with my content. It is, very edgy in comparison to like a lot of like other people's content. So it's not gonna be for everyone, but I'm saying like it's fucking funny to watch. I mean, I watch the VODs and I laugh, and I don't really laugh at shit, so I don't know. But I mean, basically the goal is to get as big as I can, make a big as an influence as I can. I definitely want to start my own maybe like podcast to target addiction or not just addiction with drugs, but anything in like a life struggles podcast. I want to be way more relatable, and I want to definitely not. I don't want to be a one-trick pony in a sense where like I'm just like, okay, let's go watch fucking Ac7ionMan fucking destroy shit on a stream and fucking be a piece of shit. Or I want there to be like, I want people to feel my struggle. I want people to look at me like as a symbol of hope, not just a symbol of destruction and chaos and anarchy. Because I'm very complicated in them. I'm multiplexed in that dynamic in that sense to where like I'm not just one kind of person. You know what I mean? Like I'm like I want to be known as like I was the fucking funniest, most entertaining guy, but then when it came down to it, I was a good person. Like, dude, I do read my DMs. I do give money. I'm saying like I am blessed enough to have be with Steak. Lucky to be with Kick, and I'm blessed to have all these opportunities. So I definitely try to be humble and give back. I give away a lot of money a month, and I do. I try to do the next right thing. There is like a redemption arc with me that I hope people feel and see. You don't have to you don't have to be from the hood to relate to me. You don't have to be from the suburbs to relate to me. You can be from anywhere, and it's about overcoming the human spirit and the adversaries in life and the difficulties in life and having an outlet that people could look at me in this certain way of like hope and that's us all and also being really entertaining and just kind of like this full premium package deal that's it's a rare specimen, but I just feel like that I'm very lucky to be alive, and like there was probably a reason why I did get to stay alive throughout all these years. I want to get into acting too. I want to do voice acting, regular acting. You know what I'm saying? I kind of want to do like rapping and shit too, but like I'm kind of honing that skill. I just know how to like freestyle and shit, but I don't.
You do that on stream, or you're just working on that in private?
No, I do that on stream also.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to do it. Do it all and shit. Do the best I can, and this is it's led me here, and this is this has all been very humbling. Even interacting with you, like dude, I've just seen so many pictures of you, and I was at that party with Nico. It was the Halloween party in LA.
Creators Inc. party.
Yeah, I was there.
Wow, that's sick.
I didn't walk up to you though. I was just like didn't walk up.
See, that's why it's good to go out because I fucking met Ava, the trans chick who's dating the black dude from the Bronx, and I interviewed them together, and that was just like, even though it's not like I probably made that much money off it, but the shit went so insanely viral.
Yeah, what happened about it? What was so viral about it?
It was just him talking about one part that stood out was just like me asking if trans vagina felt like real vagina. And he was just like, yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. I feel like it went viral because people did not believe him.
Do you know that if it does or not?
I mean, I never hit one, but I assume it doesn't feel the same.
Isn't it like a molded, isn't it like a fucking...
They have to cut in there and mold it.
Cushion,
deflated? I heard it can cost like 150 grand.
What the fuck?
For the fake pussy, yeah.
How do they... So like, is that where the tax dollars don't go to that, right? Like, how does anyone afford that? So if you want to get your dick turned into a pussy, you got to be rich as fuck.
I assume insurance doesn't cover it, yeah. Damn. You got to that's why these motherfuckers be doing GoFundMes and shit.
Right.
On Twitter to get their vagina.
Would you fuck a transgender woman?
I've had it offered many times. I'm turning it down.
Really?
I blame.
What if it was like a super accurate pussy?
I blame hip hop.
Okay, true.
They're too close-minded.
Yeah, definitely.
It's because I still want to be able to do like a Talib Kweli interview, and I don't think he's gonna be cool.
Talib Kweli, yeah, I used to fucking. He was on Dave Chappelle and shit back in the day.
He's actually out of his fucking mind. And he's probably gonna attack me for saying that, but holy shit!
I used to watch him and shit.
No, I used to listen to him all the time too. Yeah. He's kind of.
He's like got crazy or whatever.
He's a little out there these days, but
okay.
He's doing his thing. All right, Action Man, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. I was really an honor to be here, and if you ever need someone to do anything or run it back or whatever, man, just let me know. And appreciate everyone at home watching this. And much love, everyone. Thank y'all for having me here today.
For sure. I'm very, very excited to see what people think of this.
Thank you. And I'm excited to continue to, do what I'm supposed to do and use this second chance I have in life.
For sure.
All right.
Appreciate you, man. Action Man, No
Thank
Jumper.
You,
Coolest podcast in the world. Check us out on YouTube, TikTok, Patreon, Instagram. Like, comment, and subscribe. NoJumper.com if you want to support. We out.